Okay, this is the review for 6-1 to 6-3. So number 1, 2, and 3 are all about finding the number of sides a polygon has. So number 1 is find the number of sides of a polygon when the sum of the interior angles adds up to 8,100 degrees. So the sum of the interior angles is going to be 180 times n minus 2. And we know that the sum of the interior angles is 8,100. So I'm going to set that equal to 8,100. And then I'm going to solve for n, the number of sides. So the first thing I'm going to do is distribute. I need to get rid of these parentheses to get n by itself. So I'm going to distribute. That gives me 180n minus 360 equals 8,100. I'm going to add 360 to both sides. So I get 180n on the left. And that's going to equal 8,460. I'm going to divide both sides by 180, and I get n equals 47. So the number of sides is going to be 47 sides. Okay. Number 2 is very similar, except this time instead of giving us this sum, so if I had to make a distinction here, whoops, let me go back to purple. The sum of the interior angles. Okay, on the next one, we're going to do each interior angle. So instead of 180 times n minus 2, we're going to do 180 times n minus 2 over n. Right, for each interior angle of a regular polygon. And that's going to equal 165. All right, so same thing, we're going to solve for n. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of the fraction. In order to do that, we need to multiply by whatever's in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by n. Okay, that gives me 180 n minus 2 equals 165n. Okay, and then just like number 1 up there, I need to distribute the 180. I need to get rid of the parentheses, and in order to do that, I need to distribute. So that's going to be 180n, and then minus 360 equals 165n. Okay, then I can subtract 180n from both sides so that all my n's end up on the same side. Okay, so I'm going to end up with negative 360 on the left. And then that's going to be negative 15n on the right. And then when I divide both sides by negative 15, I'm going to get n equals 24. So this polygon, where each interior angle is 165, is going to have 24 sides. All right. Number 3. Find the number of sides of a regular polygon where each exterior angle is 20 degrees. So this time we're doing each exterior angle. That's 360 over n for each exterior. And in this case, it equals 20. I'm going to multiply both sides by n. Right, that's going to give me 360 equals 20n. And then divide both sides by 20, and I get n equals 18. So if each exterior angle is 20 degrees, the polygon is going to have 18 sides. All right, so for each of those, you're solving for 18. I'm sorry, you're solving for n, and the last one's 18. All right, number 4, A and B. So the first thing we gotta do is we need to use our chart to figure out how much the interior angles add up to. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So if you look at your chart, it's going to tell you it's going to add up to 720. If you don't have your chart, you got to do 180 times n minus 2. So 180 times 6 minus 2. That's 180 times 4, which gives us 720. Okay, so then all of these angles here, right, x plus 90 plus 155 plus 140. I'm sorry. Let me go in order. 112 plus 120 plus 140 should all equal 720. I'm adding up all the angles. Okay. If I do that, I'm going to get x plus 617 equals 720. And then when I subtract 617 on both sides, I get x equals 103. Okay. So then that should be 103 degrees, right? Put a little degree symbol up there. 103 degrees. All right, over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. So if you look at your chart, a 7-sided polygon, a heptagon should have interior angles that add up to 900. Okay, if you don't have your chart though, 180 times 7 minus 2, 180 times 5 gives us 900. Okay, so we're going to add all of these up to 900. So I'm going to do x plus 130 plus x plus 20 plus 120 plus 140 plus x minus 20 plus 150 should all equal 900. Okay. And then I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 3 x's, so it's going to be 3x. When I add that all up, right, I got a minus 20 and a plus 20, so I got to make sure I do the minus for that 20. Okay, and when I do that, I end up with 540. So 3x plus 540 equals a total of 900. And then when I subtract 540 from both sides, I'm going to get 3x equals, I believe it's 360. And then divide by 3, I'm going to get x equals 120. So x here should be 120 degrees. 120 degrees. All right, that's the first page. Second half here. Okay, it says suppose angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. The measure of angle 1 is 6x. The measure of angle 2 is 3x. What is the measure of angle 3? So we're going to put 6x for angle 1. We're going to put 3x for angle 2. Since angle 1 is congruent to angle 3, I'm also going to put 6x for angle 3. And then we know angle 4 should be 90 here. 180 minus 90 is 90. 180 minus 90 is 90. Right? And then so these 5 exterior angles should add up to 360 because exterior angles, the sum of the exterior angles is always 360. So I'm going to do 6x plus 3x plus 6x plus 90 plus 90 should equal the sum of the exterior angles, which is always 360. Doesn't matter how many sides you have. Combine like terms, that's 15x plus 180 equals 360. Subtract 180 from both sides, I get 15x equals 180. And I divide both sides by 15, and I get x equals 24. Right? I get 12. X equals 12. Sorry. Right? Okay, and then I can plug that back in. Let's see here. So then angle 1 or angle 3 is the one we want. 6 times 12. Right? So 6 times 12, 72. 72. So angle 3 should be 72 degrees. Okay, but just to check here and make sure our answer is good, right? We have, this would be 72, this would be 36, 72, and then plus 90 plus 90. So 72 plus 72 plus 36. Yep, so we're good. Okay, so 72 degrees. All right, next one. Let's see, angle 1, 4, 3, 4, and 6 are all congruent, and then 2 and 5 are congruent. And then we know the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 5 plus 33 degrees. So I'm going to make measure of angle 5, this one right here, the one that's in the equation. I'm going to make that x. Okay, which means 2 is also x. Okay, and so that way I'm going to make angle 1 is going to be x plus 33. Okay, and since 1 is equal to 3, 4, and 6, I'm going to put x plus 33 for all of these. And when I add them all up, since they're exterior angles, they should add up to 360. So let's see, x plus 33 plus x plus x plus 33 plus x plus 33 plus x plus x plus 33 should all equal 360. So when I combine like terms, I'm going to get, let's see, 6x plus 132 equals 360. I'm going to subtract 132 from both sides. Which is 228. And then divide by 6. And I'm going to get 38. I'm going to get 6x equals 228. And I divide both sides, and I get x equals 38. Okay. We want the measure of angle 6, so that's going to be 38 plus 33, which is 71. 38 plus 33 equals 71 degrees. Okay, so we're going to have 71, 71, 71, 71, and then these ones are each going to be 38 and 38. So if I added all those up, 71 plus 71 plus 38 plus 71 plus 71 plus 38, that should all add up to 360. Okay. All right, number 7. I have a kite. So first thing I want to do for angles is I want to fill in my 4 right angles, right? Those are all right angles. Okay, WXY, that's the big angle here, is 104. Okay, so I'm going to hold off on that one because the whole thing is 104. Right, this whole angle. Okay, and then VYZ is going to be 49. All right, so the angle right next to it also is going to be 49. Diagonal, those angles, angle XWZ and XYZ are getting bisected. Okay, and then I'm going to use the triangle. So the 3 angles of the triangle add up to 180. So 180 minus 49 minus 90 is going to give me 41. Right, I'm doing 180 minus 90 minus 41. Sorry, 49. That's what gave me 41. Okay, now we know that this whole angle here is 104. So that means these 2 smaller angles need to add up to 104. So what we're going to do is 104 minus 41, which is going to give me 63. Okay, and if that's 63, the one across from it on the other side is also 63. And then we can do 180 minus 90 minus 63, which will give me 27. So these 2 angles here are both going to be 27. Okay, once I have all the angles filled in, I can start answering the questions. So angle VZY is this angle right here, which is 41. Okay, let me pick a different color here for this one. VXW, so here's VXW, right? That's going to be that angle right here, which is 63. Okay, and then the last one here, XWZ, right, is the whole big angle down here. So it's going to be 27 plus 27, which gives me 54, right? 27 plus 27. Full angle here, 54. And these are all degrees, degrees. All right, the one below it, same thing. I'm going to start with my right angles, right? So I'm going to put 4 right angles in the middle. Okay, we know DAX is 32. And we know XDC is 64. All right, so I'm going to fill in my triangles. 180 minus 90 minus 32 gives me 58. 180 minus 90 minus 60 gives me 26. And then the bottom half here is going to match the top. So this is going to be 32. This is going to be 58, 64, and then 26. Now that I have all the angles filled in, I can start filling in my answers. Okay, XDA. It's going to be 58 right there. That angle down there is 58 degrees. Okay, the next one, ABC. ABC. That's this whole angle right here. So that's 58 plus 60, which is going to be 122 degrees. Got to add those together. And then the last one, BCD. Okay, BCD, that's the big one down here. It's 26 plus 26, which gives me a total of 52 degrees. Okay, that's the first half. Let's go over to the back. Okay, kite A, B, C, D. If BX is 7, right, diagonals by, that main diagonal gets bisected in a kite. So AC is bisecting BD, so 7 and 7, which means BD is going to be 7 plus 7, which is 14. Right, 7 plus 7 gives us 14. Let me pause a second. Okay, speaker, it said my speaker was something wrong. I think it's good though. All right, isosceles trapezoid, right? Because JK is congruent to ML, so it's isosceles. So the base angles are congruent. So angle K is also 124. And then between the bases, they're supplementary. So we're going to do 180 minus 124, and that gives us 56, which means this one down here is also going to be 56. So angle J would be 56 degrees. All right. The next one, trapezoid EFGH. Again, this one is isosceles because FG is congruent to EH. And if it's isosceles, we know the diagonals are congruent. So we know that this piece FH is going to be congruent to EG. Okay. FH is 9, which means EG is also equal to 9. Right? And EG is made of 2 pieces. EG is made of 2 pieces. EA plus AG. So we know E to G is 9, and we know E to A is 6.2. So we just need to find the missing piece here, and that'll tell us what AG is. So when we subtract 6.2 on both sides, we get 2.8 for X, right? 6.2 plus 2.8 gives us the whole thing, which needs to be 9, because it needs to be the same as FH, because in an isosceles trapezoid, diagonals are congruent. 2.8 units. All right. Number 12, find the value so that the trapezoid is isosceles. So if this is going to be isosceles, again, the base angles are going to be equal to each other. So 5x squared plus 32 is going to have to equal 7x squared. Solve for x, I'm going to subtract 5x squared on both sides. So that's going to be 32 equals 2x squared. Okay, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I get 16 equals x squared. To get rid of the square, I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Okay, and I'm going to get plus or minus 4 equals x, right? Because if I plug in -4 here, it's also going to work. So x could either be +4 or it could also be -4. And you'll get the same angle measures for Q and T. 13, if this is going to be isosceles, again, the diagonals need to be congruent. So 2z plus 9 would be equal to 4z minus 3. I'm going to minus 2z from both sides. 2z. That gives me 9 equals 2z minus 3. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I get 12 equals 2z. So I get 6 equals z. If I wanted to check it, I could plug it back in and make sure those two numbers are equal. All right, let's look at parallelograms now. Okay, parallelograms, opposite angles are equal, or let's start with sides. Opposite sides are equal, so B is going to be 9, and A is going to be 6. We also know opposite angles are equal, so X is going to be 80 degrees, or 80. We got the degrees there. And Y is consecutive with 80. It's the same side interior angle with the 80 degrees. So we're going to do 180 minus 80, which gives us 100. Okay, and then the one down here is also going to be 100 degrees. So A is 6, B is 9, X is 80 degrees, and Y is 100 degrees. All right, the other property we have is that diagonals bisect each other in a parallelogram. So if this diagonal is getting split in half by SU, right? RT is getting split in half by SU. So if this is 9, B is also 9. Okay, and then for angles, 45 and Y, those are alternate interiors. Since it's a parallelogram, RU is parallel to ST. SU would be your transversal. So alternate interior angles are going to be congruent. So Y is going to be 45 degrees. Okay. And then here, this whole big angle, 45 plus 35 is 80. Right? 80 degrees. Okay, so that's going to be consecutive. Those are same side interior angles. So to find X, we have to do 180 minus 80, which is going to give us 100 degrees. And there's no A on this one. I don't, but X is 100, Y is 45, and B is 9. Okay, opposite sides are equal. Right? So on this one, we're going to do 4x equals 8. Divide both sides by 4, you get x equals 2. You can plug it in. So it's good. Okay, and the other one, 3y plus 4 equals 13. Right? Opposite sides are equal. Minus 4, you get 3y equals 9. Divide by 3, you get y equals 3. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13. So y equals 3. All right, and then over here, diagonals bisect each other. So 18 is going to be equal to 2x plus 8. And then 4y plus 2 is going to be equal to 22 because those diagonals are splitting each other in half. So 2x plus 8 equals 18. Subtract 8 on both sides, we get 2x equals 10. Divide by 2, we get x equals 5. Okay, if you want to check it, you can plug it in. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 8 is 18. Our other equation, 4y minus 2 equals 22. Add 2 to both sides. So you get 4y equals 24. And then we divide both sides by 4, and we get y equals 6. And if you want to check your answer, plug it back in. 4 times 6 is 24, minus 2 gives us 22. All right, 18 and 19. Opposite angles are equal. Consecutive angles add up to 180. So P and R are opposite angles. So we're going to do 7x plus 11 equals -3 plus 9x. On this one, S and R are consecutive angles. So our equation's a little different. It's going to be 11x plus 12 plus 5x plus 8 equals 180. Consecutive angles add up to 180. Opposite angles are equal. Okay, and then we can solve each of those individually. So on this one, I'm going to subtract 7x on both sides. So I get 11 equals -3 plus 7x. I'm going to add 3 on both sides. That gives me 14 equals 7x. Divide by 7 on both sides, I get x equals 2. If I plug it in, 7 times 2. I'm sorry. What happened here? -7. This is 2, not a 7. Hold up. Let's go back. This is 2x. This is -7x, not 2x. That's why you plug your answer in at the end. You see if it works, right? So in my head, I plugged it in. It didn't work, and I realized something was wrong. That's because I was writing sloppy, right? So 9 minus 7x is 2x, right? So now we add 3 to both sides. So you get 14 equals 2x. And then when you divide by 2, you get 7 equals x. So now when we plug that in, 7 times 7 is 49, plus 11 gives us 60. 9 times 7 is 63, minus 3, that's 60. So now we're good to do, which is going to give us 120. So angle S here, 120 degrees. Right over here, combine like terms, we have 16x plus 20 equals 180. Subtract 20 on both sides, I get 16x equals 160. And divide 16 on both sides, I get x equals 10. So when I plug that in, 11 times 10 is 110 plus 12, that's 122. Which means u over here is also 122. And just to check it, let's plug it in here as well. That's 5 times 10 is 50 plus 8, 58. 58. So 58 plus 122 adds up to 180. So we're good. Our answer should be 122 degrees. All right, last one on here. Okay, given quadrilateral ABCD, we know that AB is congruent to CD and AD is congruent to CD. So when I draw my parallelogram, or I'm sorry, my quadrilateral, not parallelogram, the only way I can make it work out is it being a kite, right? Because when I name it, I have to either go around clockwise or counterclockwise, right? Or, I can't jump across. So A and B have to be next to each other, and B and C have to be next to each other. So if AB is congruent to BC, those are going to have to be consecutive sides that are congruent. And then the same thing for AD and CD. So if I have CD, right, that means then AD has to be consecutive with CD. So I have 2 pairs of consecutive sides that are congruent. So this has to be a kite. Okay. It's telling us angle A is 105. Okay. So I'm going to leave that out. Well, I can put it in here. So this is going to have to be 105. And it's telling us angle B is a right angle. Okay. Since this is a kite, we have 1 pair of opposite angles that are congruent. So that means this one is also going to have to be 105. Okay. And then All four angles should add up to 360. So 360 minus 105 minus 105 minus 90 should give us 60 degrees down here. All right. So we have all the angles on the kite, the big angles. Okay, but now we want to draw in our diagonals. So I'm going to draw in our diagonals in red. Okay, and that's going to form our four triangles. We know that these angles in the middle here are all 90. Right? And we know we bisect angle B and angle D. So this one's going to get split into two angles, 45 on one side, 45 on the other. Angle B is getting bisected, split in half. Same thing with angle D. So 60 is going to become 30 and 30. Okay, we know the three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 180 minus 30 minus 90 is 60. All right, so 60. Then for the top triangles, 180 minus 45 minus 90 is 45. 45. Okay, and you notice 45 plus 60 adds up to 105. 45 plus 45 adds up to 90, and 30 plus 30 adds up to 60. Okay, now we know that the diagonal AC and side AD both have lengths of 17. So 17 and 17. Okay, since the AC is the main diagonal, it's getting split in half. So 17 divided by 2 is going to be 8.5. So I'm going to make this 8.5. And this one right over here, 8.5 as well. Okay. All right, on this triangle, the one up top, we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. 45, 45, 90. So if one leg is 8.5, the other leg is also going to be 8.5. Maybe I should have done this in black. 8.5, so you can see it better. So that this leg will also be 8.5. Right, if we look at the bottom triangles, I'm going to do this one. All right, this is 17. This is 8.5. We have a right angle. We have 60 and 30. Okay, so this is a short leg. This is the long leg. The long leg is the short leg times the square root of 3, right? If we remember our special right triangles, right? Long equals short times the square root of 3. So the short leg was 8.5, multiplied by the square root of 3. So our total, let me put that in black. So this is 8.5 square root of 3. Right, so if we're looking for BD, right, we need to add these two pieces together. 8.5 plus 8.5 times the square root of 3. So if I put that all in my calculator, 8.5 plus 8.5 square root of 3, I'm going to get 23.2. We don't have units, so I'm just going to put units. And there we go. There we have it. There's the length of BD. It's about 23.2. 8.5 and then 8.5 plus, or 8.5 times the square root of 3. Okay. And that's it for the paper review.